Hi, I'm Dr. David Wallace with just one more video with a couple of tips for performing Angélica Negrón's drawings for Meyoko. And I'm going to talk about the singing as well as one little detail on harmonics. I also remembered two more topics for your group to address. How to handle the pitch of Angélica's recorded electronics track, and also what we learned about crumpling paper. Wait until the end. So Janus, the original group that performed drawings for Meyoko, all of the singers were sopranos and the voices were very similar. Hat trick, I'm a bass baritone with the other singers being female voices. And so we checked with Angélica to see how did she want us to approach this. And we actually tried it two ways. We tried it with me singing falsetto, as well as my natural chest voice. And we actually recorded it both ways in Germany. In checking with Angélica, she said, you know, the thing that was most important to her was it to be as much like our natural voices as possible, but she also wanted it very light, airy, childlike, and fantastic. So Eustace Beyer, our producer, recorded it both ways and ultimately concluded, let's go with the voice an octave down. Now here's the advantages or disadvantages of either approach. If all the voices are in the same range, then the voices kind of blend into each other and it's less like distinctive voices and one sound flows into the other. On the other hand, if you have the displaced octaves like you do between me and April, then you have much more of an awareness of this hocketing effect. You see, the flute and the violist are often singing in canon, just separated by a very short duration. And if the voices are all in the same register, then it blurs together a little bit more. But if it's separate, then there's a bit of counterpoint as well as antiphony where the voice is going from one side to the other. But above all, Angélica wants the music to sound good and wants the performance to sound good, so do what works best for you. And as far as the viola playing goes, it's all very idiomatic and lies really well on the instrument. The one thing that you have a little bit of choice about, or something that you might want to consider different options or fingerings, is the E harmonic. You have this note as a harmonic. Now you can get that about three ways. One is fingering an E on your C string. You can get that same harmonic in third position fingering an A. You can hear the pitch is slightly different. Or you can also finger it as an artificial harmonic, putting your first finger on E and your fourth finger on A, lightly touching. I tried all different ways and even tried different fingerings for different passages. Ultimately, I found myself most comfortable in settling on the artificial harmonic because when you're crossing four strings and doing tremolo, it can be tricky to get the pitch to speak. And so I found I had the best luck if I was going for the artificial harmonic and keeping the bow by the bridge. That also gave me the ability to tweak the pitch a little more so that my pitch could correspond not just with my own instrument, but with what I was hearing with the electronics track, with the harp part, and the flute part. But ultimately, you choose what works best for you. When Hattrick was rehearsing, we noticed that Angélica's recorded electronic track did not seem to be tuned to a standard concert pitch. To understand Angélica's thoughts and intentions, we sent an email with a recording from a live performance. Here's how the composer responded. My electronics are often on purpose a bit out of tune, as I like the contrast of a bit of clashing with the acoustic instruments. It's subtle, but interesting to me. I suggest you stay at 441 as in this recording. That sounds great to me. Finally, there's one more detail I wanted to mention. Angélica's electronics track has the recorded sound of crumpled paper, and actually all three musicians will crumple paper when you play drawings for Meyoko. The flute starts at the beginning, but then at the end, all three. If you don't have a microphone, you will want to be sure that you have loud enough paper that it will project into the hall. For hat trick, we experimented with many different kinds. We found pretty good luck with some rather thick, heavy grade, like about 25-pound weight colored paper. And so you can hear that crumples nicely. It will project in the hall very well. In Germany, when we were working with Justus Bayer, our producer and a real audiophile producer, he had me try many different kinds of paper. And when I tried this Schokolade wrapper of Rittersport Kaffee Knusper coffee and chocolate candy bar, he's like, that one, that's the one. So this is actually also good for touring because it's kind of a combination of paper and plastic. Fits into the music compartment of a viola case, won't tear, and it just carries nicely, has a lot of high end as well as low end, and if you do that for a microphone, it will also sound good. Thank you for watching. In the comments, I will link the other 2 tutorial videos, as well as links to where you can buy the sheet music for drawings for Meyoko and the audio tracks, and where you can hear Hat Trick's recording. Thank you, everybody.